A scorching summer's afternoon here at the city that was once the centre of the Roman Empire. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to round 4, race 3 of the 2022 Italian Formula 4 Championship. The cars are on the grid. It is a scorching afternoon here at the Vallelunga circuit. If you're just joining us, Andrea Kimi Antonelli, who will start from pole position in just a moment. He's the new championship leader. He won race 1 yesterday, and he also won race 2 this morning. 37 cars are on the grid. We're going to speak first of all to the former championship leader, the Irishman, Alex Dunn, who's down with Camilla now.
Hi Alex, great speed all weekend, 2 races before. Can you crack the podium maybe in this race?
Yeah, I think it's definitely possible. The speed has been looking good and we're starting in a good position now, so I think for sure a podium is definitely possible.
Thank you.
Alex Dunn, as we say, the former championship leader, he starts on the third row of the grid in car 22 for the US racing team. The Premier Power Team drivers 1, 2, 3 on the grid. The US racing cars 4, 5 and 6. Taylor Barnard had a cracking race this morning for PHM Racing. He finished in P2. He starts a couple of positions behind Dunn, and he's about to speak to Camilla on the grid now. Taylor Barnard with Camilla.
Hi Taylor, congratulations for race 2, a fantastic P2. Can you go one better maybe this race?
I hope for the best. Last race was definitely good. We'll see what we can get in this race. We'll just maximise what we can get.
The quietly spoken English driver. We just heard a few words from the former WSK Champions Cup kart racing champion through the visor of his bell helmet. A fantastic run to P2 this morning. Starts on the 4th row of the grid, immediately behind Alex Dunn, who we did hear from. Let's go down to Brando Badaway, the Italian for Van Amersfoort Racing, starting on the 5th row of the grid.
Not the best weekend so far, but now we have the chance to rewrite the history. What's your strategy, Brando?
Just a full attack. We will recover from a bad weekend. This will be a good race. I'm confident.
Thank you.
Brando, by the way, yes, as Camilla accurately pointed out, it has not been a good weekend. In fact, not a good season so far for the Van Amersfoort Racing team drivers. But Brando here this afternoon starts on the 5th row of the grid, the best chance yet for the Venetian driver in car 33 for the team which dominated with Ollie Bierman in 2021. We're going to take a look at the grid for you in just a moment. 37 cars on the grid. And as Mr. Giancarlo Minardi told us this morning, the next round of the series in Austria, we're expecting 45 drivers. Antonelli, the race 1, race 2 winner, the new championship leader on pole position, alongside Rafael Camara, Charlie Wirtz, P3 this morning. That's where the Austrian starts this afternoon. Then comes the US racing attack, Marcus Amann, Kasper Stuka, Alex Dunn. We go to James Wharton and Taylor Barnard. Nick Gilbora, Brando Badaway, Martinez for Van Amersfoort Racing as well. Bedran, Meyerwerg, Conrad Larsen, Emo Fittipaldi Jr., one of 4 Brazilian drivers in the field, alongside the African Pedro Perino. The 2 Germans on the 9th row, Jonas Reed, Valentin Klus, Il Siciliano, Alfio Spinner, and the IL Links driver, Ivan Dominguez, Carlson, Rimicella, the Roman, on the 11th row, Vittorio Blocchina, and for Jensen Motorsport, out of 24, Ethan Aisha. Frasinetti for Cars Racing, Elias Pirendio for Matthew Racing, Castro, the 2nd Irishman, Adam Fitzgerald from Galway, on debut in the series. Then we go to Frederick Luna, Manuel Quondam Carlo, Kim Hua-Ring, and the Greek driver from the other side of the Adriatic Sea, Giorgio Marcogiannis for Graham Motorsports. Nicholas Montiero, Jane Richard, Nelson Neto, Ishmael Ahmed, and Giovanni Maschio, again out of grid 37. AS Motorsport, the Italian driver, one of 7 Italian drivers in the field. In this hugely international championship, 24 different nations represented. Just getting back to the next round of the series. Yes, there's a shortage with everything in the world at the moment. Motor racing is no different. Tartas, they have manufactured some 130 of the new generation Tartas T421 cars as they set off on the formation lap. And there's some 50 on back order. We are expecting the biggest grid in the championship's 9-year history when we go to the fabulous Red Bull Ring in Austria on September 11th for round 5 of the championship. Arguably the most picturesque circuit in the world. And we are anticipating a record entry. Yes, 45 cars, 37 here this afternoon. 40 drivers taking part in official free practice on Thursday. The next round of the championship is after the summer break. That's at the Red Bull Ring in Austria on September 11. Monza, the cathedral of speed, for the penultimate round of the championship on the 9th of October. And this year we conclude at Mugello, the home, briefly, of the Tuscan Formula One Grand Prix. That's on October 23. The 9th edition of the world's most competitive junior car racing series, the Italian F4 Championship, presented by WSK Promotion. This is round 4 of 7 for 2022. James Wharton, the Australian, in car 13 on the podium yesterday. It's the Vallelunga circuit, about 30 kilometres north of the Italian capital. Started life in 1951, would you believe, as a dirt track. And we also raced in the opposite direction. Well, they raced in the opposite direction. None of us were around just a few years after the end of World War II. This is Nikhil Border. So much history at the circuit. In fact, the Grand Prix of Rome was held here right up until 1991, the last edition, won by Alex Zanardi when it was a round of the International Formula 3000 Championship. Now the current length, just over 4 kilometres. Host venue, round 4 of the Italian Championship. There's Taylor Barnard, TB from Norwich in England for the German PHM racing team. A stunning drive this morning for P2. Bolted on 2 new sticker Pirelli tyres. They weren't even scrubbed. It was a tactic by the PHM team. It worked beautifully this morning. Finished P2 to this driver, the Mercedes AMG Junior Il Bolognese. Andrea Kimi Antonelli, the new championship leader. Rafael Kamada at DNF this morning. This is Valentin Klus, the Kaif Energy car 28 for Jensen Motorsport. Valentin Klus has been all class so far this weekend. One of 2 Jensen Motorsport drivers aiming to crack the top 10 here this afternoon. Brando Badue, the second generation racer. His father Luca racing in the Italian Formula 3 Championship at this circuit way back in 1991. So Antonelli is parked on pole position as the final runners make their way around the Roma corner onto the grid for the final race of the weekend. Ismail Ahmed alongside Nelson Neto and Nicolas Montiero. Welcome to the eternal city of Rome. Round 4 of the 2022 championships. And for the final time this weekend, we race. Perfect start from Antonelli as one of the US racing cars stalls in the background. Dunn and Marcus Aman try and break the Prema dominance here this weekend. But it is Antonelli from Kamada and also Charlie Verst. They go 1, 2, 3 as they go down in the Cimini corners for the first time. Around the outside tries Marcus Aman in car 52 for US Racing. Antonelli, a super start for the new championship leader from pole position, goes P1. They race up the back straight for the first time. You see Alex Dunn going wheel to wheel with his teammates plural, Stuka and Marcus Aman. There's the French Finn in P4. On the outside is the 4th Prema Power Team car. It has been a dominant performance for the team from Vicenza. They run 1, 2, 3. Kamada up into 2nd place after an unfortunate DNF this morning. Verts into 3rd. That's James Wharton. Just behind Stuka and Dunn. He's ahead of Taylor Barnard, who's already moved up to position 8. The PHM driver, Maya Werg, on the inside of Martini Estensone. A clean start. The opening stages of the final race here this afternoon. They exit the hairpin for the first time in this 30-minute plus 1 lap race. Maya up the inside. She takes 2 drivers in one corner. Nicely done. She's now inside the top 10. Goes ahead of Martini Estensone, ahead of Nikita Bedrin. And Brando Badoea has fallen back to 10th place. A big move down the inside from Nikita. Can't quite make it stick as Antonelli comes across the line for the first time. And as we've seen all weekend, as we've seen in the last few rounds of the championship, the Prema Power team, they go 1, 2, 3. Alfio Spinner In the background, tries to take his fellow Italian, the Sicilian on the Roman. That was Rinicella. As the Prema drivers trade positions, Kamada on the inside, Wirtz on the outside, Marcus Amand won't need to be asked twice. He will be ruthless if he gets half an opportunity. Flying the flag for the US racing team, they are still in with a chance of the 2022 championship. Charlie Wirtz defends. Marcus goes the outside, Kamada into second place. Marcus just hangs in there, Charlie just drifts ever so slightly off on the racing line. And with that, the Austrian holds third place. But the fight back is immediate from Marcus Amand. One of the PHM cars off in the background. That was Jonas Reed. So Marcus Amand right behind him. Alex Dunn, Kasper Stuka. And James Wharton is not so far back as well. Wirtz in trouble here. He's starting to hold up the three US racing drivers. They desperately want revenge as they both go up the inside. Almost contact between Marcus Amand and Charlie Wirtz. The Austrian holds on just for the moment through the S's. Into the Roman corner for the second time. Antonelli is gone. Under all sorts of pressure is Charlie Wirtz as Rafa Kamada turns in over the dust which has been thrown up on the circuit in the opening stages of race 3, round 4 here this afternoon at Vallelunga. So they start the third lap of the race. Antonelli, Kamada, Wirtz, Amand, Dunn, Stuka, Wharton, Barnard, Porter, Myers up into 10th place. Head of Stenson, Bedran, Lawson, Dominguez, Fittipaldi, Badouer, Klus, and Alfio Spinner. As James Wharton in car 13 behind Kasper Stuka. And his battle further back in the pack. They're 3 wide as Conrad sends it down the inside. Super move by Conrad Lawson, but he goes wide on the exit. And we see Nikita running off the road. He's also lost the front wing. Nikita Bedran, effectively, that's the end of his race. Nikita Bedran will have to pit for a new front wing. He was off the road. Effectively, his race is going to be over. Antonelli escapes down the road. 1.6 seconds ahead of Kamada there in third place under enormous pressure. Here's Charlie Wirtz as again Nikita Bedran struggling to get that car to turn in. As Ivan Dominguez just ahead of Conrad Lawson. Fittipaldi, Badouer, the Van Amersfoort racing drivers in 14 and 15. Ahead of Valentin Klus, another impressive run for the German here this afternoon. Ivan Dominguez, the yellow 89 car for Team Iron Lynx. Behind him is Conrad Lawson. The move from a long way back from Brando. Oh, the big don't argue on his teammate, Brando Badouer. Emo Fittipaldi, Klus splits the VAR cars. Where did he find the energy for that one? Valentin Klus is all class as Nikita Bedran goes into the pits. And the Chenza Motorsport driver, that was a superb move. Opportunistic, but he did it cleanly. Valentin Klus takes 3 drivers in 2 corners. He's not far outside the top 10. Having to defend though. Fittipaldi behind as is Spinner and Rinicella. This is Nikita down in pit lane for a new front wing, praying for a safety car. Spinner, Fittipaldi, Klus, Badouer and Rinicella. And the cleanest car out here this weekend. That's in the immaculately presented 38 AKM Motorsport car. Dominguez going through at the bottom of your screen from Conrad Lawson. There's Brando. Valentin Klus defending from Il Siciliano. The Roman behind Valerio Rinicella. Race 3, round 4, the Italian F4 Championship for 2022 presented by WSK Promotion. And out front, Antonelli is looking for a perfect weekend. He leads the race now by 1.8 seconds over Kamada. Took the championship lead from his teammate yesterday with his first victory so far of the weekend as Klus is actually ever so slightly touched in the back by Alfio Spinner. Behind is Rinicella and Emo Fittipaldi. Goes defensive. Does the German in the 28 Kaif Energy car. Accelerates toward the S's. Trying to break through into the top 10 here this afternoon. As the PHM drivers going through behind William Carlson, Jonas Reed, and the Moscovite Victoria Blockin ahead of Shane Rishab. Frederick Lund, Adam Fitzgerald, the second Irishman in the field on his debut this weekend. Here's the driver from Galway in the 72 car, ahead of Sperandio. Marco Janes and Kim Warang. Out front, Antonelli, 1.9 seconds over his teammate. A look off the start. Perfect getaway from Antonelli. One of the US racing cars stalling. It was Pedro Perino. Look at the African driver. Goes nowhere off the start. So lucky to be avoided by, oh wow! Ismail Ahmed was within millimetres of the African driver. Nikita Bedran off in the gravel, loses the front wing. And the driver who's twice been on the podium so far in 2022 is out. And we also see Adam Fitzgerald, the Irishman. That's why he's dropped a few places in the 72 car. Running off at the exit of the Roman corner. Out front, the boy from Bologna, position 1. The Mercedes Junior 2 seconds ahead of his teammate, Rafael Kamada. Maya Werg on the exit of the S's. She's in the top 10 behind Nikhil Borda. Good drive from Nikhil in the 44 car. Ahead of Martinez, who's finished P10 in race 1, P10 in race 2. And the driver, the former WSK Supermaster Series kart racing champion, Martinez Stensone, is just a position off repeating that 3rd, 10th place of the weekend. He's in 11th, ahead of Ivan Dominguez. Marcus Aman, P4 ahead of Dunn, the first of the US racing cars, as again the Prema drivers, 1, 2, 3. We go further back just so slightly. Taylor Barnard, P2 this morning, but he's under attack. Kasper Stuka behind, a former winner in the championship. That's Nikhil Borda, that's Maya Werg. They're about to make it a 4-car fight. The American-born Singaporean Nikhil Borda, car 44, position 9. Tries the inside, it becomes the outside. And Taylor puts the 77 PHM machine in the middle of the circuit. Nikhil Borda in car 44. Kasper Stuka in 37, so Kasper immediately behind. Then it's Nikhil in 44. Then it's Maya in position 10. The third of the Ferrari juniors in this race. The other two being Rafael Kamada in P2, James Wharton in P6. And Maya, she's in position 10 for Team Iron Dames, also competing this weekend. Just up the other end of Italy in the European Le Mans Series at Monza, where we race the penultimate round of the championship in 2022. That is on October 9. .1 seconds now, the gap between Antonelli and Kamada. The field spread out in the final race of round 4 here this weekend. Taylor Barnard withstands the challenge for the moment by the 2 US racing drivers. Kasper Stuka, P8. Nikhil Borda, P9. And Maya Werg, she's in position 10 for Team Iron Dames, Iron Lynx. The car of Kasper bottoms out down the hill, flat in 6th gear. Not the fastest circuit on the calendar. Top speed of, depending on whose telemetry you are fortunate enough to look at, around about 220 k's an hour, as Andrea Kimi Antonelli rips the visor, or rips the tear off from the visor on his bell helmet. Actually opened it as he got the last lap call this morning. Kimi Antonelli is actually probably suffering visibly more than most with the heat. It is a scorching afternoon here in Rome. 37 cars on track and we've got 37 degrees Celsius. The track temperature, listen to this, it is melting. It is 63 degrees centigrade. And that's up a couple on when the race got underway a few moments ago. The bitumen in the paddock, I kid you not, is actually melting. That is not an exaggeration. It is a scorching afternoon. A beautiful summer's day, in fact, in the Italian capital, as you look at the driver from Finland, where you can guarantee the temperature is about 20 degrees less than it is this afternoon. Marcus Amand, P6 in the championship on 83 points. Antonelli 2.1 seconds from Kamada, a 1:35.533 at last time round. Quickest driver on the circuit is the race leader, Marcus Amand. 6th gear, flat down the hill. In P4, a step off the podium. Good defensive drive from Charlie Bird to hold off the attack from Marcus Amand. Settled into P3, another fastest lap from Kimi, a 35.487. So Kamada in 2nd place. If you missed race 2 this morning, we know so many of you in South America, it was very early. And for those of you that did get up Well, it wasn't worth the alarm because Rafael Camara did DNF a puncher in the opening laps of the race. He got 0 points as you look at Alex Dunn in car 22. Rafael Camara, the former series leader, as Giovanni Maschio goes around at the bottom of the hill and almost certainly was helped in car 8 for AS Motorsport. Or maybe not. Manuel Quondam Carlo just behind. Misses car 8 by centimetres, lights up the rear Pirellis. I'm not sure if they actually do race rallycross here in Rome. Giovanni Maschio entertaining us slightly there. He does rejoin, but he's way down in 36th and last position at the moment. You see the battle raging in the background there as Antonelli approaches the Roman corner at the Vallelunga circuit. I'm not sure if they do have. There is a Roman rally, the Rally of Rome. Next week, the European NASCAR Series races here, and in 3 weeks' time, the World Touring Car Championship. At this historic circuit, the championship presented by WSK Promotion together with the Automobile Club of Italy. The sporting department, that's ACI Sport, their home base, home ground for the midpoint of the series. Antonelli, the former WSK Euro Series kart racing champion. Speaking of which, the WSK Euro kart racing series gets underway in 2 weeks' time at South Garda Karting Lonato. And then 2 weeks later at Sarno outside Napoli. As we go further back in the pack, this is what happened a moment ago. Jonas Reed on the outside and Jane Rishab off the circuit. In fact, it may have been Spinner. Spinner, which has brought out the safety car. That's a real disappointment for the young Sicilian. He's also a former WSK Supermaster Series kart racing champion, and that incident eliminating one of the 7 Italians in the field wipes out the 2.1 second lead held by Antonelli. Just on halfway point of the race, as we look at one of the VAR cars, definitely with the front wing damaged, is Emo Jr. It's dragging on the bitumen. Emo Fittipaldi in trouble. That'll go underneath the car if he doesn't make it back to pit lane. Opportune time to pit under safety car for Emo Fittipaldi. He's got a missing front wing. Well, dislodged is more accurate. It is about to disappear if he can't get it back to the pits as we recover the car of the Sicilian Alfio Spinner. So safety car conditions, race 3, round 4 of the Italian Championship, and the safety car picks up the Italian, the new championship leader, the race leader, Andrea Kimi Antonelli. This is Manuel Quondam Carlo up the inside, making contact, not with Nicolas Montiero, but with the ripple strip. This is Alfio Spinner coming together with Emo Fittipaldi, the 2 young guns. And this is what cost Emo. Oh, wow. The left rear of Alfio Spinner. And that's what's punctured the Italian's tyre and sent him straight ahead. Alfio Spinner with a puncture, Emo Fittipaldi with a broken front wing. And the 2 young guns, if I'm not mistaken, the 2 former Kart Republic teammates in the WSK Euro Series. They're both out after contact, very light contact, but enough to eliminate and put a Spinner in the gravel and break the front wing of Emo Fittipaldi. Safety car, half race distance, race 3, round 4, the Italian F4 Championship. On a scorching summer's day here at the Vallelunga circuit, Long Valley, north of the the Italian capital of Rome. Manuel Quondam Carlo in 62 does continue on. He's behind Nicolas Montiero. This is Martinius. Position 11, he finished P10 this morning, P10 yesterday. As the safety car, it's a quick intervention. It's about to pull into pit lane at the end of this lap. So the order is Antonelli, Camara, Wirtz, Prema, 1, 2, 3, looking for another trifecta before we go into the summer break. And then the US racing cars, Marcus Amand, Alex Dahn. James has worked his way up into P6. Wharton ahead of Barnard, Stuka, Border, and Maya Work. She's in position 10. This 37 car field now reduced to 36 with the retirement of Alfio Spinner. Antonelli accelerates. The safety car pulls into pit lane. And we race, hopefully cleanly, to the checkered flag. Super restart from the championship leader, the race leader. The green flag flies and we race once again this afternoon at Vallelunga here in Rome. Alex Dunn on the back of Marcus Aman, James Wharton right behind. The only thing separating the Bremer Power Team drivers from going 1, 2, 3, 4 is Amanda Dunn in 4th and 5th places at the moment. Dunn makes the move on his teammates. They touch. Marcus is off the road, runs into the back of his teammate, loses the front wing, and that's game over for Marcus Aman. The golden rule, don't clash with your teammate. They've done it. Now Alex locks up. Watch James Wharton down the inside. What a move by the Australian. This is demoralising because now the Bremer Power Team, they've done it. They've gone 1, 2, 3, 4. The US Racing Team drivers, they've come together. They're both in trouble. Taylor Barnard capitalises as well. Taylor goes through. He's up into 5th place. Follows James Wharton through. The red and white cars from Vicenza are dominating here this afternoon. The US racing drivers, Alex Dunn, still 3rd in the championship, remember. The kid from County Offaly, it's a disaster for Alex. Marcus Aman, his teammate, has lost the front wing. Maya works, she goes by. Ivan Dominguez is about to do the same. Marcus Aman is in trouble. He will have to pit. Was running in position 4. Effectively, his race is about to be over. Continues on, loses a couple of places. Martinez goes by. So does Ivan Dominguez in the Iron Lynx car. He's off the racing line. And that's the end of the day for Marcus Aman. 6th in the championship on 83 points. Gets 0 from this afternoon. As Antonelli, Kamada, Wirtz and Wharton. What a dominant performance from the Bremer Power Team. 1, 2, 3 and 4. And Taylor Barnard, P2 this morning, he started on the 5th row of the grid. As Ivan Dominguez up the inside, has to defend from Martinez. Then Brando, by the way, good run from Brando here this afternoon. Alex is out. A disaster. 3rd in the championship, the former championship leader. He is still leading the British series, but gets 0 out of race 3 this afternoon, and this is the reason why. They touched. Marcus was over the ripple strip, came back on the circuit with no steering, ran into the back of his teammate. Watch James Wharton up the inside. Simply says, thanks, mates. No worries, boys. And the Aussie takes the both of them. A puncher for Alex Dunn, a broken front wing for Marcus Aman. James Wharton up into P4 behind his teammate. There's Martinez on the inside of Ivan Dominguez. So at this rate, it won't be a P10 for the Norwegian. He's up into 7th place at the moment. Great try from Martinez Stenson. And we'll check the order as they come across the line. Maya disappears at the bottom of your screen. She's well inside the top 10 at the moment. Sits in behind Nikhil Border. The final third of race 3, round 4 here at Vallelunga. Stenson comes across the line, gives the toe, gives the slipstream to Ivan Dominguez. That's Brando Baroya, the 2nd generation racer in car 33. This is better from Van Amersfoort Racing. Both now inside the top 10. Maya works, she's up into 8th place behind Nikhil Border in 7th. Kasper Stuka now flying the flag for the German US Racing Team, but down in 6th place. Conrad Lawson with the move as Brando runs off the road, does not lift. And there's Jonas Reed, who's come from the clouds. The broken front wing of Marcus Aman is lying in the middle of the still melting bitumen here this afternoon. Conrad, he's on the inside. Brando being sandwiched. Jonas Reed on the high line, just holds it. That's Valerio Rinicella, the Roman here in Rome. A stunning drive here this afternoon. In great form for AKM Motorsport, trying to break into the top 10. The 2 Italians are running together. Brando Badoea. Behind is Valentin Claus. As we look at a very demoralised Alex Dunn. May even drop down. beyond third in the championship. Quickly doing mathematics, which for regular viewers, you'll know that I'm less than competent at. 132 points coming into this, the third round of the series, third race of this round of the series. In fact, no, even if James were to win this race, Wharton is in P4 in the series on 100. So Alex Dunn will still stay in P3 when we come back for round 5 at the Red Bull Ring in Austria on September 11. Rinicella in superb form in car 38. There's Brando going through. Valentin Klus. William Carlson now up into 16th is the young Swede. Great drive from William. A setback in qualifying with a puncher. Didn't set a time, but he's worked his way through intelligently. Follows the Jensen Motorsport car of Valentin Klus. There is the front wing of Marcus Aman, abandoned on the bitumen, off the racing line, thankfully though. Maya Word going through at the bottom of your screen. She's up into position 8. A nice gap over Martina Stensonet. As Rinicella locks up, he's in P14 ahead of Plus. The battle on your screen is between the German, William Carlson, Victoria blocking as she's up into 17th. And then the RSGP driver, Frederick Lund, the Nicaraguan Dane, in car 14 is just behind Victoria. Out front, Antonelli, a 2.1 second lead before the safety car intervention, as he accelerates out of the hairpin. This time though, Rafa Kamada in with a sniff of victory here this afternoon. Taylor Barnard, the two drivers from the British Commonwealth, 4 and 5. James Wharton, the Australian, Taylor Barnard, the Englishman. Behind Wirtz, the Austrian. Well, he's 50% English as well. Charlie, third this morning, and he runs third this afternoon. A replica helmet of his father, Alex, the 3-time Le Mans 24-hour winner here at the circuit, coaching his second son, the second of 3 boys, the Wirtz brothers, Felix, Alex, and of course, young Oscar. Stalled off the line in race 1, fell back to 19th, recovered for 9th place this morning, P3. This afternoon, Charlie Wirtz, son of Alex, one of 3 drivers whose father did race in Formula 1, along with Brando Badoer's father, Luca, and of course, Emo Fittipaldi, who did rejoin with a new front wing. Emo in 28th position. There's Maya Werg on screen, position 8. Former WSK International Kart Racing Champion. The Belgian-Dutch girl from Benissa in Spain. Speaks as many languages as fingers she's got on her hand. She's a damn quick driver as well. Struggled last year in her introductory season with a car which, well, let's just say she struggled to drive that car. P8 as the flames come out the exhaust. Car 83 for Team Iron Dames. A Ferrari Junior along with James Wharton and of course Rafael Kamada. Taking the 2016 WSK Final Cup at Adria Raceway. I reckon she beat the race leader Antonelli and also the Russian Kirill Small that day. I'm sure one of her 2 brothers, Lucas or Tristan, will correct me if I'm incorrect on that. She's inside the top 10 at the moment. Position 8 behind Nikhil Borda, ahead of Martina Stensonet and Ivan Dominguez, the second Iron Lynx driver, the Portuguese pilots, in position 10. Antonelli with a 1:35.378, fastest driver on the circuit. Now he accelerates away from his teammate in the dying stages. Race 3, round 4, the Italian F4 Championship here this afternoon. A scorching summer's day here in the Italian capital. Rafael Kamada, the DM management driver, the Ferrari Junior from Recife on the northeast coast of Brazil. His hometown affected badly by flooding in recent weeks. It affected Rafael quite personally, carrying the name of his hometown in recent weeks on the car. Rafael Kamada, the former series leader, leading the rookie championship, it must be pointed out, but he wants the big one. Wants the outright lead in the championship. At the moment, he runs in 2nd place in the race. He's 2nd in the championship on 165 points, a close-up of Taylor in the PHM car. Antonelli, 194 points coming into this, the final race of round 4 here this afternoon. Taylor, P2 this morning, trying to catch James. A crushing display for the Prima Power team. Credit to them, though. The team from Vicenza, they've won the FIA Formula 2 Championship. They've won the FIA Formula 3 Championship. They've won the Formula Regional Championship. Of course, Gianluca Petekov took that title here in 2020, the year after Frederic Vesti, also for the Italian team, won the Regional Championship. They've won the F4 Championship more than any other driver. Lance Stroll in 2014. Ralph Aron a year later. Marcus, the Kiwi Armstrong, in 2016. Enzo Fittipaldi 2018. And of course the first Italian to win the title, Gabriele Mini, in 2020. It looks as though they've already got one hand on the team's championship with 3 rounds to go in 2022. Charlie Wirtz, car 7, the second generation racer. No mistake off the line for Charlie here this afternoon. Rafael Kamara locks up the front left with just a lap or 2 remaining. We'll tell you exactly. There may be, in fact, 2 remaining. There's Charlie in P3. James in the background, still being shadowed by Taylor Barnard. Stuka, Bora, Werg, Stenstorne, and Ivan Dominguez. So we believe this is the penultimate lap. It looks as though he's just crossed the line. Rafael Kamara, to the point where the clock will run out as he is in the middle of the Roma curve next time round. Rafael Kamara has not given up on a victory here this afternoon. The gap is a second. Antonelli is controlling the pace. Rafael Kamara driving the wheels off car 88 in second place. It's a little bit later on in the day down in South America. Once again, we say bom dia a nossos amigos assistindo no Brasil. The boys from Brazil, they're running in P2 with Rafael Kamara. Also, Emo Fittipaldi here to pit for a new front wing. Nelson Neto and Nicolas Montaro, who's on your screen right now. In fact, it's Giorgio Marco Janis, I'm sorry, making contact with the Uzbek Ismail Ahmed. Whack on the way out as well. The Greek driver's day is over. There's Giovanni Maschio skating by. Ismail Ahmed is out. So the yellow flag at turn 11. Ismail Ahmed, the Uzbek from Almaty for AKM Motorsport. The National Automobile Club of Uzbekistan. On the route of the former Mongolian rally. Trying to fit the cliche in there, something about rally cross, parked in the gravel. Either way, his day is over. Disappointing for Ismail. We'll see him back for Red Bull Ring, the penultimate round, or the next round of the series. This is the final lap of the race, though. Antonelli, a perfect run here this afternoon. A dominant performance. Has less than 4 kilometres to race here in Rome. Kamara in second place. The gap 1.5 seconds down through the Cimini corners. Accelerates, climbs the hill up towards Campagnano. There's Rafael Kamara. Charlie Wirtz looking at another podium here this afternoon. And Jimmy James will miss P3 by a single place. Taylor Barnard. Nice drive again by Taylor in P5. Kasper Stuka, Miguel Porta through Campagnano for the final time. Let's pretend we have borrowed Doc Brown's DeLorean and gone into the future with Marty McFly. The year is 2026 on the grid in the FIA Formula 1 World Championship is Andrea Kimi Antonelli. We will look back to this season 2022. He has dominated up until the summer break. He accelerates out of the hairpin. Remember the name, Andrea Kimi Antonelli. And also that of his teammate Rafael Kamara, the Prema Power team. They're about to go 1, 2, 3, 4 here this afternoon. Andrea Kimi Antonelli extends his lead in the championship. A dominant performance. The checkered flag waves. And for the 8th time in 2022, Antonelli takes victory in the Italian F4 championship. Kamara across the line in P2. Wirtz On the podium in third place, James Wharton, a crushing display by the team from Vicenza. 1, 2, 3 and 4. And Taylor Barnard, a fine drive to finish position 5. Antonelli is now on 219 points in the championship as we head into the summer break. A crushing performance by that team on your screen. Takes the victory by 1.2 seconds over his teammate Kamada. And Charlie Vert's a strong drive to P3. And James Wharton in fourth place. Opens the visor on the Bell helmet, does Andrea Kimi Antonelli. Desperate for some fresh air. Really suffering with the heat is Andrea Kimi. Martinius in the background there, car 34 in a rush to get back to the pits. P10 in race 1 yesterday, P10 in race 2 this morning, but 9th here this afternoon. Look at that, 1, 2, 3, 4 for the Prema Power team. Antonelli with his 8th victory of 2022, Kamada 2nd. Wirtz 3rd on the podium, then it's Wharton. Fine drive to P5 for TB. And it's Casper Stuga, Nickel Border, Meyerwerk, she was 8th, Martinia Stenson, it was 9th. And the second Iron Lynx driver, Dominguez, in the final points-paying position. They've got some homework to do to catch the team from Vicenza before we come back to the Red Bull Ring in Austria on September 11. Because this is what the championship looks like. 219 points for Andrea Kimi Antonelli. Second still is Kamada, done despite the DNF. And still third on 132 points. And with fourth place here this afternoon, James Wharton, fourth in the championship on 112. And Charlie Vert starting to move into contention, 104 points. We'll go down to pit lane. We'll try and get a word again with our race winner, Andrea Kimi Antonelli, in just a moment. Applause by the crowd. Do you remember crowds at sporting events? Where have we been for the last 2 years? Great to see them back. Rafael Kamada from Recife. P2 for the boy from Brazil. And P2 in the championship as well. The race winner for the 8th time in 2022, the Italian F4 Championship. Powered by Abarth, presented by WSK Promotion. This is the race winner. Victory number 8 for the championship leader, Il Bolognese Andrea Kimi Antonelli. No, father first. Marco Antonelli there. Compliments for the car, he's saying to team owner Angelo Rosin. An unusual situation there. There's my word. Good try from her. P8 here this afternoon for the Irons Aim. Grazie Troncon, team owner with Prema, with Angelo Rosin. She's always smiling. Angelo, I think he cracked a smile as well. Suffering in the heat is the championship leader, the Mercedes Junior. See if we can listen in. If we can listen in. Dai Kimi. Victory number 8 for Il Bolognese in car 12 for the Prema Power team, with an enormous lead going into round 5 of the championship when we come back after summer on September 11. The race winner is down with Camilla Ronchi. It's Kimi Antonelli.
Andrea, 3 wins in a row here in Vallelunga, 6 wins in a row in the championship. Now the championship is getting closer. Are you thinking about the title?
I mean, of course, the title every round is getting, it gets closer and closer. I mean, it's amazing to do a triple win here. And yeah, I mean, car was amazing all weekend, especially last race. I felt really good with it. And yeah, now we have a good rest and we'll see for Spielberg.
Can you say something about the Vallelunga circuit?
I mean, it's a nice track. I mean, it's really tough because the gap is really close here between all the drivers. But I think we did a really good job in terms of driving and also setup. And yeah, really happy for it.
Thank you.
Round 4, race 3, the highlights here this afternoon. Antonelli from pole position as Pedro Carino in the background stalled off the line and was just missed. But Ismail Ahmed did get going. This massive 37 car field. Manuel Quondam Carlo also doing well to avoid the stricken Mozambican driver. Antonelli leading away. This was Adam Fitzgerald, who had a wild ride at the exit of the Roman corner. Came back onto the straight, did Adam. But ultimately would retire. Nikita Bedrin likewise. For the driver who stood on the podium twice in 2022, Giovanni Maschio into the grass, did recover though. And then all hell broke loose. Alfio Spinner into the gravel. That brought out the safety car, which eroded the gap of Antonelli, and then the two teammates, Alex Dunn and Marcus Zaman, they touched, and that was the end of both their races. James Wharton up the inside. Thanks, boys, says Jimmy James. Goes through and would race by to finish in P4. Behind his teammates, Charlie Vertz third, Kamada second, the driver on your screen, Andrea Kimi Antonelli, victory number 8 in 2022. The checkered flag wave, and with that, he takes an enormous lead into the championship. The 5th round at Spielberg, the fabulous Red Bull Ring in Austria on September 11. Charlie third, Rafael second, and Andrea Kimi Antonelli, victory number 8 of 2022, as the Prema Power team, well, quite simply, they dominate. Three pole positions, 3 victories. Andrea Kimi Antonelli and indeed the Prema Power team dominate here in the eternal city of Rome. Great to have your company for the 4th round of the series. From here, we will take a summer break, but we'll be back on September 11 at the fabulous Red Bull Ring in Austria for round 5 of the 2022 series. On behalf of all the team, WSK Promotion, everyone here at Circuito Vallelunga, and everyone at the Automobile Club of Italy, ACI Sport, thanks for watching. We'll see you at the Red Bull Ring in Austria on September 11. Have a great summer. We'll see you in Spielberg.